Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Sunday morning. I'm glad it's Sunday because it means that once I've filmed this and edited it and got it uploaded, I can go back to bed because I haven't had more than 2 hours sleep because there's been so much going on. You know, I'm 5 hours ahead of Eastern, 8 hours ahead of Pacific time. Sleep is optional as long as you can catch up with it later. Today marks 11 months since Summer Wells, then 5, disappeared from her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road in the Beach Street community of Hawkins County.
A family member reported her missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at approximately 6:30 Tuesday evening.
On the 24th of June, Leslie Earhart from the TBI led up a press conference. And in that press conference, she said it was heartbreaking.
Numerous residents and individuals associated with the family have been interviewed. Surveillance video and photos have been reviewed, as well as other potential digital evidence. We're still working to identify everyone in the area on the afternoon that Summer went missing. One of you asked us in a previous briefing the standard amount of time it takes for a case like this to be resolved. While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm. Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear.
You guys feel like you have more information, better informed than you did on day one, Tuesday night?
We don't. We still don't know where Summer is. We don't know what happened to her, and it's extremely frustrating. I can't tell you how heartbreaking it is. The sheriff has worked around the clock. His team has worked around the clock. The search crews, TBI agents, FBI agents, we're doing everything we can to find her, but to not have any more answers than we do at this stage, it's just heartbreaking.
She said at this time, usually after 9 days, they know what direction the search is going, and she said they've no idea. Yes, this is the one with the runaway horse. And in that press conference, one of the reporters said, could she be more specific on the timeline? And this is what she said.
Not any more than what we originally released. We know that her family reported her missing. They called the sheriff's office around 6:30. Prior to that, it was early afternoon when she was last seen. And they searched for a little bit and then reported her missing.
She said Summer was last seen in the early afternoon. Now, I know Justice for All, Justin, talked about this in a live the other day. I kind of thought, yeah, we know this. Justin pegged it at 1 to 3 p.m. Do you know what I would have said early afternoon is between noon and about 2. That's what I would consider early afternoon, and then 2 till 4 mid-afternoon, and then after that, late afternoon. Or as Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory coined the term pre-evening, that when does late afternoon become evening? And he said, there's a pre-evening. I digress, but it's relevant. And I watched it and I thought, okay, we've got a bit of semantic issue going on there. Maybe they were meaning she was last seen by somebody outside of the family, or they've got actual evidence, proof of life. And I didn't think anything further of it. And then last night, someone came onto Ziggy's panel, and I'm going to play you a short clip from that. Very interesting. Link in description. Please do go and watch it. And this is with someone who worked for, I think she said 26 or 27 years in the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. So she's got a lot of contacts. Ziggy vouched for her and said, no, she's not a troll. She spoke to her before. I'd like to see proof, but what you're going to see throughout this video is me just mulling through these ideas in my head. I don't know what to make of them, and I guess from now on this video is just going to be my brainstorming, trying to get my thoughts in order, having watched a whole lot of lives last night and not having much sleep. Go over the lives that I'm talking about, do your own research and make your own opinion. I'm just giving you my thoughts. This is a woman from a retired official from Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, and she spoke to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson regarding Summer's case, and this is what Sheriff Lawson told her, allegedly.
So you know the undercurrent of what's going on. You don't have to speak on it, but do you know more than the internet knows?
No, they're hush hush. They won't even tell me. So
okay, that's good to know. That's good
the
to know.
only thing the sheriff told me to ask you to was to find out where or what took her 4 hours to call the sheriff's department.
4 hours?
Yeah.
What?
He said if you want to tell YouTube anything, ask him why it took 4 hours for her to call the sheriff's department.
Oh my God.
Of course, guys, this is hearsay. We don't hear it from Sheriff Lawson's own mouth. But have we reason to disbelieve this woman? No. I'd like to know who she is. I guess she wants her identity protected. I'd like to be able to bring you proof that she actually worked at Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. But at the moment I can't. Because like pretty much everything else in this case, as I talked about in a video the other day, it's hearsay, speculation, theory and opinion. It's not fact. Even if we heard it from Sheriff Lawson's own mouth, it would be his opinion and assessment of the situation. Presumably he could back it up with data because he's the sheriff. But in saying that YouTube should maybe concentrate on the 4 hours before the 911 calls came in. 4 hours? What? Because I've always said that we've got 3 hours. I've always said that we know that the final photo and video of Summer taken, the video taken accidentally by Grandma, the photo, Candice wanting to try and get a photo of Summer sleeping with her arms up because that's how her daddy sleeps. We know Summer does sleep sometimes with her arm up. Little kids sometimes do. My kids did. I don't find it unusual at all. I don't see it as a sign that she was about to die from a brain injury, whatever. I've never seen it like that. But we've only got Candice's word that this was taken at 3:09. She told YouTube channel Unmasked that the time taken, the stamp on those files was 3:09 p.m. It's an oddly specific time to make up. But hey, it's hearsay from Candice. We haven't seen the timestamp from that video or that photo. Because we don't have the original files, they weren't uploaded anywhere. They weren't uploaded to TikTok or Facebook. The photo was shown in early reports from Hawkins County and the TBI. It's one of the first images that was presented to the public of Summer. But it was somebody taking a photo of somebody holding a phone up. The video only came to light when Unmasked talked to Candice. And then the high definition version of the photo was posted on Don's Facebook in August. We have no metadata. We know where it was taken. It was taken just after the junction, the intersection, on Lone Star Road with Merrill Road, in the direction of going home from Kingsport. So I've always said that we've got an approximate time of when they arrived home. It would have been 3:20, 3:30 at the very latest if they got stuck behind a tractor or something. And the 911 calls came in around 6:26. And the dispatch call was heard just after 6:30. The TBI have always said, even from the 16th of June, Leslie Earhart from the TBI said that a family member reported her missing around 6:30. Now, the proof of life that I've been using is that, but we've also got the swimming hole video, and that was posted on TikTok. And if you go into the metadata, it tells you it was posted at 12:34 p.m. In that metadata somewhere, there'll be location details. So, yeah, I guess it could have been taken at a different time and then posted at 12:34 as an alibi. But for Leslie Earhart from the TBI to say that she was last seen early afternoon, and then allegedly Sheriff Lawson saying there's 4 hours, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that her last proof of life must have been around 2:30. So where were they around 2:30? Well, they were dropping H off, weren't they? This is according to Candice and according to Ali and H, when they both talked to Chris McDonough from the interview room. So if she was definitely alive and last seen at 2:30, to be honest, we can disregard the earlier parts of the day, pretty much. At least in terms of proving she was alive then. Because the TBI and allegedly the sheriff, albeit second hand, said early afternoon. And it's the 4 hours before the 911 call that's important. Now, what I've done in numerous videos is try to tighten up the timeline, because Candice gave us nothing when she spoke to Ansley Daniel from WJHL on the I always forget this date, 28th of June, I think. Ansley asked her about the timeline, and she said she loses track of time when she's having fun. Well, we've come to find out that everybody in this saga is bad with time. That is, apart from one person who's been able to give us very specific details about the events of that fateful afternoon. And that's Jordy Sue. And as I said yesterday, in response to somebody in my comments who said, why is it taking you so long, and why have you been protecting Jordy Sue almost inappropriately when she's involved? And I said, I don't know she's involved. I don't know who's involved. None of us know. Even law enforcement don't know who's involved. Detective John Pruitt came on record and said they're no further forward than they were at the beginning. So Leslie Earhart saying that it's heartbreaking on the 24th of June, how do you think law enforcement feels now? This is why it's so important to keep going back to the beginning. People think that going back to the beginning is because YouTubers, including myself, have run out of content. Listen guys, I've got so much content because I don't just follow the Summer Wells case. I follow a whole range of cases. And I like to dig into historical cases when I've got time. That's why I started the Crime Stories Sunday series that I had to put a stop on for now, a temporary stop, because I just have too much. I have too much content. If I had more time each and every day, I could easily put out 3 videos a day. One on Summer Wells, one on another active case, and a historical case. I honestly could, if I had the time. So for me, going back to the beginning isn't about making content stretch. It's grounding. It's going back to basics. And then it's applying the newer information with what is established. And is what is established, given new information, does that still hold up? This is investigation. This is how law enforcement does research. It really is. Lots of people have said, somebody in my Facebook group just a day or two ago said, they're not going to watch any more Summer Wells videos until there's new information. Well, how do you know there's new information if you're not going to watch any Summer Wells video? I don't get that, right? I don't get it. But I guess the people who've already checked out of the case won't be watching this video anyway, which is a shame. I consider this a point at the 11 months to the day that Summer disappeared. I consider this a turning point. I'm going to say that, a turning point in this case. Even if it's not a literal turning point, I think this video marks my turning point. And this is why. I'm going to go down these steps, the tree roots, call them the steps. I'm going to back up there, I'm going to go back into that field and then resume chatting to you. Because I've got this fancy ass mic, I need to concentrate. The creeper in the woods video, where I talked about Jordy Sue's son as being the possible creeper. We now know this possible creeping took place in August. So no, absolutely nothing to do with the disappearance of Summer. Not directly anyway. You know, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I called it a mic drop moment. When as soon as I heard it, I thought, oh my God. What did H say about Andy or A, the creepy guy? Could it have been him on the 15th of June? Well, it could have been. Do we know? Of course we don't. And being chased off the property that has now been confirmed by 2 different witnesses per Crackin Cases. I'll leave a link to both of those videos in the description box. Because this turning point for me is the involvement of Jordy Sue. Because Jordy Sue has been very specific on some timings of things she's allegedly seen and heard. And I've believed Jordy Sue. I have, as a witness. And I haven't considered her as a person of interest until very recently. But now I am. And that's my turning point. Because it's only from Jordy Sue and Jordy Sue alone that we've got information about the scream between 4:30 and 4:42. She estimated that time because she had a text from Andy, her then partner, at 4:52. She said, oh, it's 10 to 20 minutes before that her daughter initially heard the scream. She put it down to kids, but Jordy Sue said on record with WJHL that this scream really happened, and her son went on record as well. People said in my Creeper in the Woods video that I doxed an adult man who'd gone on record because I showed this clip. Well, guess what? I'm going to show it again. Here it is.
About an hour and a half before Summer is thought to go missing, Jordy Sue, her son, and her daughter heard something far more suspicious. A scream.
Stopped all 3 of us cold.
Her daughter was the first to go to the cabin door. Then all 3 were there, listening still.
We heard just this kind of shrill, almost animalistic scream.
Animalistic, but not an animal.
Knew it was, wrong. It wasn't a dog. It wasn't an animal.
That vigilance kicking into overdrive. Jordy Sue and her son went out to look for the source of the scream.
My son and I decided to go out, look and see what we could see. We went back onto the bank. Didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything.
They went on with their evening. The kids returned to being kids.
So an animalistic scream from Andy Jr. I know his name isn't Andy. But on, was it Benny Keyz channel? I've watched so much in the last few hours. I'm just going to leave a link to everything that I've watched. Anyway, somebody in the chat said that they were from Beech Creek, and Andy Jr., Jordy Sue and Andy's son, was actually known locally as Andy Jr. Even though that's not his first name or his middle name. I know this from the obituary from Jordy Sue's grandfather, who died in 2020, her pap, who she loved very much. He's Kenneth Coates, and he has all the names of the family. So there we go. Anyhow, public information, not doxing, it's on record. So I've used this scream as something unusual, not necessarily Summer getting abducted, as Don has said. You know, Don has said, oh, my neighbour heard a scream. He said this to WVLT, took a reporter down the dog trail and gave this oddly descriptive, graphic account of Summer struggling to breathe going down the dog trail. And that would have been around 4:30, 4:42. So Candice didn't hear the scream, allegedly because she was looking for Summer. Well, it left me thinking, well, if something did happen to Summer around 4:30, there's 2 hours here between that, you know, Summer going out to play, maybe being abducted, maybe the scream really was Summer, or maybe it was just some other occurrence. But it's a time point, right, in the timeline. And because Candice has been very vague about it, you know, said as early as the 20th of June to somebody, and this was put out on Crazy Crime Chick's channel.
And that's her little swing right there off that tree. She loved to play right there in that yard. That was her favorite spot to be. So whoever took her had to actually come up into the yard and take her. And I don't understand because, like, my neighbor heard her scream, but I didn't hear her scream because I was in the house with the boys trying to find her. And I guess when my neighbor heard her scream, I was actually in the house and the TV was going. So I didn't even hear the scream.
She didn't hear it because she was looking for Summer. Well, she was looking for Summer at 4:30. Why did she only call 911 or Don? Why did the 911 calls only come in shortly before 6:30? And why did the dispatcher say that she'd already been missing 10 minutes?
110-110 Ben Hill Road off of Beech Creek should be the first residence on your right. Reference to a missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and advised that the mother had went for a walk, came home, now they can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Now I said, Candice has got to be lying. Why is she lying? Is it because she fell asleep and doesn't know what the hell happened to Summer, and something untoward happened to her when she was playing out? Last seen going out of the basement door, the brothers told Sheriff Lawson. That was reported by Bianca Murray, 16th of June. People are going to say, you've shown all these clips before, Michelle. I know I have, but they're important. Very important. This is a turning point for me. The tide has turned, shall we say. It's been dawning on me that giving Jordy Sue the grace of saying she's a witness, she's the one who's giving us the most information, as little as it is. Now, another thing that made me think that Jordy Sue's timeline was reliable, because she said she heard them shouting for Summer as she was leaving her cabin and heading down the driveway to meet Andy, who was late home from work. He got delayed at work and can't possibly be a suspect because he was on camera at work all day. Even though Fred Hill told Ziggy that he saw him, his cousin, on Ben Hill Road at 3:30. Fred mistaken, Fred spinning a yarn from his property. Fred's always out there, right? Scotty Skullz saw him, Ziggy saw him, always out there messing with his cars. So, quite possibly saw Andy. Was very specific that he saw Andy, his cousin, around 3:30. Presumably, law enforcement have been able to confirm Jordy Sue's story that Andy really was on camera at work all day. Anyhow, 6:09, they were shouting for Summer. And Jordy Sue started searching for Summer. I said, you know, I'm shouting up, I'm looking down here, Candice, and she looked in the creek. Okay, all well and good. She saw the boys. Don's confirmed the boys were down by the creek with his neighbours. That was Jordy Sue and Blue Roof Don. Not Don Sherfy. Blue Roof Don is someone else. Not giving his surname, he's not involved. And then allegedly, we've not seen the footage of this, but allegedly somebody rides Beach Creek on their bike and they have like a GoPro on their handlebars. And they, I don't know what they're filming, but they're filming. And they caught a glimpse of the boys near Beach Creek Road, down near the creek. Around 7 p.m. That all fits. Helicopter. Where's that going? Don't see many helicopters around here, so I was a bit concerned when I see one. Oh, by the way, guys, side note, we've got a missing boy, aged 14 but looks older. He was last seen in Preston. It's reminded me because of that helicopter, but he's going in the wrong direction. Preston's over there. Last seen in Ashton and Ribble in Preston, but has got links to Somerset, which is down in the southwest. His name's Nasim Sweeting, and he's been missing since the beginning of May, so be on the lookout. If he's been found overnight, then great. I just haven't checked this morning. Anyway, I digress. Jordy Sue's timeline, very specific, very believable. I've took that as the best witness account we have. But what if? What if? And this is a what if. This is speculation. What if Jordy Sue has been involved? What if creepy guy Andy Jr. was creeping around the property in August trying to find out what was being said? Now, a couple of pieces of information that have come out that make me even more suspicious of Jordy Sue is a piece of information that we've known. Jordy Sue has said this herself, that the search dogs stopped at her feet. Well, a dog handler, not who was part of the search, but a dog handler who has a search and rescue dog, said that she'd have been mighty concerned if her dog had stopped at the feet of someone. Now, this dog could have stopped at the feet of Jordy Sue because she happened to be standing on a trail that it was following. It could have tracked Jordy Sue, right? What if Summer's scent article had been handled by Jordy Sue? Well, why? Why would Summer's scent article have been handled by Jordy Sue? Was Summer wearing hand-me-down shoes from Jordy Sue's household? But people are speculating on why Jordy Sue made a point of saying she washed her feet in the creek so that the search dogs wouldn't get confused. They're not going to get confused by that at all. But what were you trying to hide is my question. So that information, yeah, it's interesting. There's various explanations about why that search dog might have stopped at Jordy Sue's feet. And then allegedly a search dog got in an altercation with one of Jordy Sue's dogs. But then Jordy Sue chose to take her dogs out for a walk while the search dogs were there. Surely that's interfering with an investigation if you know your dog is going to disrupt, attack, bark at the search dogs. They're going to get distracted, interfering with an investigation. Why? Now, the last piece of information that I'm going to present to you, I can back up. Jordy Sue's mother, Peggy Sue, who we know is Jordy Sue's mother from this obituary. That's Jordy Sue's pap's obituary. We also know Peggy Sue is Jordy Sue's mother because she's on the birth record of Jordy Sue's brother, Kenneth Lee, who died, sadly, a few months ago. But because Kenneth Lee was born in Texas, Texas put their birth records out there. Some states don't. Texas do. That's why I've got Candace's. And we see Peter Brown and Peggy Sue. Now, Justice for All, this is the last video that I watched, and I've not got through it all yet, was that Peggy Sue works at, he was calling it a toy car place. Look, I'm gonna show you this. Peggy Sue, who works at a Toyota dealership, 2017 to present. Now, there's two profiles of Peggy Sue Travis, one of which says nothing, one of which gives this information. So, are we going to argue that there's two Peggy Sue Travises and it's not Peggy Sue Travis, Jordy Sue's mother, that works at the Toyota dealership? Are we going to argue that? We could do. Now, the problem is Brad Wishen. Who's Brad Wishen, I hear you say? Brad Wishen is 423 Chase, who appeared on the scene, created holy hell when he took a load of money from donations for billboards that ended up not being put up. It was a whole thing. I didn't talk about it. It was very much a sideline. I thought this is just a chancer, an opportunist, a dreadful person. I didn't talk about it on my channel. Brad Wishen is known for more than that, because 423 Chase was spreading deliberate misinformation. He's the guy who was going around telling creators were having him on their channel, believing him. I didn't believe him, but I made a video about it because, well, you've got to explore these possibilities. But he was spreading deliberate misinformation about Summer being alive, and it was all going to come out soon that Summer was alive and well. Why was he spreading deliberate misinformation? He got found out and he disappeared off the scene. But it's now being alleged that have I missed the turning? I have. It's up there. It's been alleged that Brad Wishen works or has worked at the same Toyota dealership as Peggy Sue Travis. So if they work there at the same time, then they know each other, yeah? They're co-workers. So why would Brad Wishen, known to Peggy Sue, Jordy Sue's mother, why would he come online spreading deliberate misinformation? Well, all right, let's be reasonable and say maybe because he found some information out about Summer, because he knows some people who know things, you know, maybe a little more than just general public. And he was a chancer. And there's nothing whatever nefarious between Peggy Sue Travis and Brad Wishen being co-workers. That could be it. It's just interesting. Because considering Jordy Sue and members of her family as persons of interest rather than as witnesses, it does open up a whole wormhole in my brain that I need to investigate. Because could it be that Jordy Sue has been spreading a whole lot of deliberate misinformation, just like Brad Wishen? Yes, it's possible that there's been some sort of coordinated effort to spread misinformation. It's perfectly possible. If you'd have told me that a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have believed you. I'd have said, come on now. But now, I'm really concerned about the involvement of Jordy Sue and maybe other members of her family. We know that Andy's side of the family own a lot of property in that area. One property on Fields Road, where searchers spent 2 days, targeted search, previously identified places of interest. One of those previously identified places of interest was Fields Road. You see, there's just all these little things, and they could all be coincidences. They can all be explained away by other things. They're just interesting. These are just speculations, putting ideas together, trying to formulate a theory. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. We've still got very little fact in this case. We're still talking very much about hearsay. But law enforcement are just as confused. Is it that law enforcement have been led a merry dance by people in that local community? Is it that evidence is being withheld? I think so. I think so. The question is why and how many people are involved. Don has said that this thing is bigger than anybody knows. Is Don being set up? Is Don involved? Is Candice involved? Who's involved? All on the table, guys. All on the table. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I've been Michelle. Hope you're well. See you in the next video. Goodbye from Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer. Bye, guys.